What up? What up? What up? Good evening, everybody. Good evening, my fellow degens. Good evening and welcome and hello. Really glad you decided to join me here tonight. That's Church of Eight Wheels. That's part of the, that's part of the free library or whatnot of audio that you can choose to use when you're making a video. So that's Church of Eight Wheels, which is pretty cool. So I like to get the energy started. Why the music? Why the dancing? I mean, don't take yourself too seriously. I definitely take myself too seriously. I think if you followed me for a long time, you know that. But the dancing, it's for fun. We want to try to have fun with this. I mean, like I'm just like hanging out in my office. I'm going to go live and a bunch of people will show up and hopefully there will be some value here. That's my goal. So we'll talk about charts, talk about what is going on. Let us start out with the chat room. Big love, Big Ched. Good to see you, brother from another mother. So folks, nice to see you, Kristen. Let me know where you are. Barcelona, or is it Barcelona? Probably the latter. Let me know where you're coming from. This is a worldwide thing. We usually get people from dozens, literally dozens of places, dozens of countries around the world. So I want to hear from you today. I just want to hear from you. We'll do some chart requests, stuff like that. I'm not going to run through my tweets like I normally would do. We're just going to kind of hang out and see where it goes. So just checking in with the chat room. Australia, Ibiza. And if I mispronounce where you're from, I'm sorry. Tejas, Texas. New York, Mexico, Leeds, Poland. Look at this, Southern Cali, and it's like Belgium. So you have friends all around the world. All these people are your friends. We're sharing this hobby, this passion, this career, whatever you want to call it. Panama, look at this. All these different places, unbelievable. Look at this. Look at this. Unbelievable. Look at that, right? I love it. We're all right. So we get the point, but this is fantastic. Thank you so much. Brazil, Rhode Island, North Carolina, Italy, New Zealand, Russia. We're all in this together. So let's try to remember that when we fight. Sometimes we fight. I do it. Try to remember we're all in this together. I'm Big Cheds on Twitter. Check me out if you're interested in learning how to trade. Observations about price trading psychology. I'm the author of Trading Wisdom. It's available right now on Amazon. There's 4 formats. The reviews are excellent. I'm thankful for that. So thank you. Appreciate that. You can get the book for free, though. Hold on. I have that not here. Maybe not. Let me just give me a moment while I quickly set something up. Hold on, my friends. Appreciate your patience. I don't have a team. It's just me hanging out. So let's get right there. That should do it. Let's bring that right there. Let's get that out of the way. And we're back on track. So listen, go to my YouTube channel. Check out the playlist, Trading Wisdom, where you can get the book for free. Right? So I've got the free version on my YouTube channel. You can get it, as I mentioned, here on Amazon, right on my Twitter page. I have a new book coming out, though. Book 3, Trading Quotes, is coming out in like a couple weeks. I have kind of a draft version of it that this is a prior draft. I'm already like 2 drafts further. It's almost ready. I keep refining it. I'm super excited. I'm probably going to pick up a video game and just play it for a while after publishing the book because of the editing process has been it's mind numbing. You keep going over it. Writing a book is crazy. I don't know why anybody does it. The Gambler and the Clown, that's me. I mean, that's exactly right. I appreciate that. Let's see. And what is going on? Respect all friends on a mission. And thanks. Yep, 50K. YouTube is a bit of a grind. So check out my free version of my book on the YouTube. If you're learning how to trade, go to the masterclass TA playlist. This is really what you want to do to get started, right? To give you the basics of volume, moving averages, candlestick analysis, trade structuring, risk management. This video right here will be part of Quick Market Updates. There's a really good series of videos. Check that out. Long form interview series. There's great value for you here, especially if you're a struggling trader just getting started. Watch this stuff. You don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to spend any money. This is all great stuff for you to soak up. Definitely want to see the playlist. Twitter Spaces. I now have 21 conversations. The last one was 3.5 hours. We were hanging out, had some wine, and it just went on for a while. And we get 30, 40 people just asking questions. You got to check this out if you're a new trader. Love you. Thank you so much, John. Elden Ring. I know people like that. So check out that playlist. I will tell you, if you are interested in learning how to trade, if you are, if you want to take it seriously, Bitcoin Live. I am a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live. Bitcoin Live is the best team in the world that studies crypto. I've been doing market reports there for over 4 years. I do a twice a week report. When you sign up, you get access to everyone's content. Strongly consider checking that out if you're ready to take it to that next step. You want to learn, what's what. Check out the free stuff. My YouTube is chock full of stuff to get you started. You don't have to buy the book. You don't have to do anything else. Watch the free videos, and watch these streams and come and ask questions. So I'm going to be asking you, listening to your questions. Kind of a brief premise maybe on Bitcoin. I know people asked about Ethereum, and then I'll go directly to the chat room and see. Thank you, John, and see kind of what your questions are. Okay. Just generally speaking, we have to, what are we doing here? So, if we back up, and a lot of this is, I just did a stream like this like 4 days ago on YouTube, and it's not going to be wildly different, but the setup, because the setup is the same. And I've been explaining now for months, down sideways, down sideways. We've been consolidating, right? Consolidating after move down, after move down. And we've just started to break down, right? We just started to break down like 140-day range or something. That's extremely unusual. So we had a very long sideways range. We can try to apply understanding of what we know now to kind of make sense of this long sideways consolidation. And more or less, the market was being propped up, it was being held up, and it really was a distribution pattern. And if you didn't know anything about what the market was doing, you were just tracking it. You're tracking an attempted rounded bottom, and the second rounded bottom really, not only getting about halfway up and breaking down, right? Never reaching kind of that midpoint, that 22.5 point, never reaching the peak, right? Peak, you got trough, you have time distance, right? In between, pretty well-defined peak up here. Couldn't even get up there. And all this is just below the 200. It's just price action, consolidation below the 200. So it's just a downtrend consolidating, right? So the more you step back, you can apply all these filters, these labels to price action. And do you have to call it a double bottom? Do you have to call it, I'm sure everybody's got their different words and different ways they'll look at it, and they'll break it down and they'll just say, well, there was the rising wedge, and then we have the attempted higher low, and then we have a spring here, and then we have this and that. It's just consolidation after a move down below the MA 200. Like if you're just starting from the outside picture, like I don't know the phrase, but I know when you're like classifying an animal, there's this like top down classification, and like that's this, you start with what I just said. It is consolidation. It is the most important, most basic fact about this is consolidation after a move down below a down sloping MA 200. That sets the table for anything else you look at on this chart. So that's the Bitcoin chart, and that's been the Bitcoin chart, and it's been that way, and kind of in that whole posture that whole time. And we were in that here as well. We were more or less in that here as well, post the EMA 34 flip, post the EMA 34 flip. That was the pivotal point discussed here many times, YouTube, discussed on Twitter many times. And while we were in this mode, and I'll wrap up here quickly and get to your questions, but while we were in this mode, we've still been ready to go long when levels break. So 22.5, we never got there. I recommend to people to not play this kind of chop long level here, this minor level, whatever that was, 20.5, ended up rolling over. And then we've been kind of messing with the bottom of the channel and eventually breaking through. So what do you do now? The weekly picture is still pretty clear. if you've been following my streams since, Bitcoin Live March, and then on Twitter since April, I've been talking about, 12K more or less. I've been talking about this area, since more or less, up here, because it appeared that we were heading towards likely to break support. And once you break 30K, you're definitely testing 20K, but there wasn't really support there. So it always made sense to come to this level. I don't have to like spend all sorts of time talking about that because you can just watch all my old stuff. So we're essentially in this limbo now. We're in this limbo mode where we just broke down from a 140-day consolidation range, and we're nowhere near support. We're in this super duper limbo range in here. Good luck playing it. If you want to go long at 14K, go for it. There's no real price structure there. In my view, it's premature. Unless it develops. I mean, if we develop a bottom on a low time frame at 14K, I'm sure I'll play it, right? I'll always, especially if it comes after a flush, right? There's all these conditions, everything's contextualized. But the fact remains we're in the no man's land, right? In between the bottom of a long multi-month consolidation range we just broke and above the major support level, which also corresponds with the 85% retracement. So, I mean, there's a lot of momentum. There's a lot of factors going on here. And so now that we know that, where the support is, now that we know what we just broke down from, what do you do about it? You say, all right, I mean, if I want to go long, I have a very, very pretty clear trade set up here. I'll just target these lows, 18.2. I'll observe the price support, and then I'll observe the price rejected. Right there, right? So I'll observe that. And then I'll just so if I break up above it, I can be long. And if it's, or maybe I even short if the price approaches there. So that's Bitcoin. Kind of explaining my thoughts. In Ethereum, I mean, MA200 rejection. I tweeted about it while it was happening. It wasn't that it was like a guarantee you're going to reject here just because you rejected there the prior time, but you are watching it. It's kind of certainly an area of interest. It's what you would think of as an area of interest. And because of that, you'd be going to lower time frames. So this is, an example of when you switch time frames. Well, after volatility, you switch time frame. And then when the price is at a key level, you go to a lower time frame. Here, you would have done that. You would have potentially spotted something that would have allowed you to structure a trade. You have an up thrust as well here off the October 29th highs. So you had that short setup. You have that rolling over, essentially rolling over into kind of the meat, right? In Japanese candlesticks, they call this a box, traded in a box, really what Bitcoin did on the daily, more or less, but really into the meat of the support zone, chopped through it, is not respecting it, most likely is now resistance. And that's so you can kind of see that from a momentum standpoint. Then you shift your focus back towards the bottom of this prior range, $1,000. That's where I'm watching. All right. Hey, Khalid, good to see you, man. I think we talked in Spaces recently. So let's get into this. So listen, I don't have a team. I don't have whatever. I'm just going to check the chat room. There's 300 of you. It's great to see you folks. Thanks for hanging out. Just as a reminder, go watch the rest of my free stuff. If you're new to trading, start with this masterclass, technical analysis tutorials. Like you have to watch, but you should watch this before you even take your next trade. All right. What's going on, folks? I'm going to scan the chat room. What's going on? Yep, Florida, we get it. So what do you guys have questions about? I just did Bitcoin. I just did Ethereum. What is going on? So let's see. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I don't know where the bottom is. Nobody does. Of course, the Bitcoin, we're going to have to see it settle down. Like the alts pretty much got smoked for the most part. Like ATOM was just up here, right? Just $15. We're down to 10. We've got that kind of loan. Like TWT has been, there's a winner, a strong winner. And what's interesting is you could have already been watching this or had been in this just based on the technicals, and I've been tweeting about it, but you see it kind of develop this multi-month ascending triangle. So you had this bullish price structure developing. You got your breakout signal here, just, a few days ago before the pump. So it's nice to see at least, one chart doing well. But I think we have to be honest, I think CZ, he's been tweeting this. So that's going to really give, yeah, someone's texting me. That's going to give, anything a boost. So I think that's, Not that anyone could have predicted that, but what we do see is a chart that has had bullish consolidation, and bullish. The chart has been telling you to pay attention that it's consolidating in a bullish manner and would likely break out, and that's what it did. This is an unusually strong move. So you can't, like, the TA didn't take credit for this. Let's see. I mean, it's 100% move. So if you were going to do that, based on how long it took to complete this consolidation range, you would have think, the measured move would also take several months. It wouldn't be a week, right? So you have to put that in the context. Let's see. That's me dancing fool. That is me. XMR. Okay, let's take a look at XMR. Is requested. That's not what I'm trying to do. XMR. What's going on with Monero? I mean, what are we doing? Daily chart. It's in a downtrend. You can see that. You can see the downward channel. You see the MA 200. You see how the price rejected there recently. So now you've kind of got a line in the sand to watch. The price more or less rejected here as well, at late May. So you definitely want to watch that MA 200. From a horizontal standpoint, you can observe the attempted, kind of basing. It tried to establish support here, and that didn't happen. So you're now looking at, you really need to get back up above really 144, 145, for any kind of momentum. If you're being more conservative, you're waiting for a long trigger. You're waiting until around 160, 165 range to get interested. So this is a lot of work to do, to repair the recent price action. CHZ Chiles. Mark Scott requested Chiles. It's better than a lot of altcoins, just by virtue of the fact that it's above the MA 200. It is above recent support, but we're in this kind of, you can call this, in classical charting, you call it a broadening top, but these perform very poorly. These perform very poorly because, like, by the time let's say it completes, you've already made, like, huge drop from the top of the channel. And it's like the same concept with, like, a Head and Shoulders top. And you know how you can have a horizontal neckline, which is best. You can have, an ascending or a descending, and really the best performing is the ascending, because a neck base, because then you have all this room, to continue in the direction of the break. Um, all you need to know is people will call it a megaphone, and it really doesn't matter. What you need to do in this case is just look at price versus prior support, prior clusters. You have to draw a line in the sand somewhere, and these type of, like, broadening patterns don't let you do that. You need to find a line in the sand. Um, and so here it's generally in this kind of 15, 16 cents area. Excuse me one moment. Pardon me. So it's generally in that 15, 16 cents area. But I don't like the big red volume here. Look at the big volume in the red candle. I don't like that. So it's cautionary. It needs to hold, in this range. If you start to see it below 15, I think I would get quite defensive. And then you're thinking maybe, 10, 11 cents at that point. Matic was requested, Brendan. It's above the 200. You really would like to see it hold around 76. 76 cents. We have the up thrust, we have the resistance break, failure to hold that level, and now more or less, just consolidating. This is the channel in here, right? This is the channel. This is the lower deviation. This is the upper deviation, right? And that's, it's not a super clean channel, so you have to do that. You have to, again, we're talking about, you have to draw a line in the sand, and this is, at some point you have to say, this is where I'm going to kind of, bullish above, bearish below, type of thing. Thanks, appreciate that, intuitive guy. I'm just having fun, man. Sand. I haven't looked at this one in a while. We'll do a few more. Not too many. We'll do a few more. Let's see. Sand's at 6 cents. Oof, this is a terrible chart. What are we doing? Definitely should not be in this chart. I would sell, in theoretically, and again, we're talking about paper. This is paper trading advice, right? I'm not telling you what to do, but I would personally, if I'm holding this, I'm out, right? And I'm just gonna delete it off the watch list. It's a terrible chart. Let's see what's going on. We are holding, are we? Are we? Are we holding it? I mean, like, these things take time to digest. I don't know what's going on. Do you? I mean, what's the next, it's really unpredictable. Like I said, we just know we're in a range. We know we're in a range below kind of the next level to flip, the first minimum level to flip, 18.2. And then, major support, 12K. I mean, that's it. Crypto Cred did a video today, did a really good job explaining it. And we just shot right up. And it's when you do that rocket ship, you get the slow bleed when you don't pause to do a bull flag along the way, and then you do an ascending triangle along the way. When you do that, you come back, you have support, right? You have support to work off of, right? You got something to work with. So that is the concern. So when you say 16.3 is holding, like, is it? I don't know. How do you know? Like, what have what have you seen in the future that would tell you that? So don't worry about the likes, like, whatever, I like doing these. They're good practice, but, when I'm in the mood, I like to take advantage of it and stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. So, I think it's a good time for me to step up and provide a little more value. So, let's see. I already did Monero. I'm not gonna do it again. I already did Monero. Sol, sure. What is Sol doing? It's not a great chart. I mean, there's no question about that. And, you have this kind of catastrophic breakdown, as many charts did, breaking, June lows, and this one's already, you know, 60% lower than June lows. So it's been kind of a severe punishing drop. There's support here. So, would it surprise me to see it base? What does that mean, base? That means it kind of to create some support and kind of hang out and consolidate. Would it surprise me to see it consolidate $12, $13 range? Not really. Um, but it does have very strong bearish momentum, which means if I'm just looking at this alone and nothing else, you think, all right, this is going to consolidate and then continue lower. There's nothing about these last 10 candles that would say anything other than likely to go lower. Sure, Dogecoin for the truth. EMA 8 rejections. Holding support, trying to hold it in that 7-8 cents area. Just clean it up a little bit. It's a kind of messy chart. It's hard to make sense of it. And one tweet from Elon can send it. But like I gotta just focus on this in terms of momentum. I mean, at some point you have to, right, create these support levels that you don't go below, right, on the way up. And so that would be the idea here is that you gotta draw your line in the sand. I mean, if we get back down to 6 cents, that would make all this, failed move, and now we're back below the 200. So I mean, it's in danger here. If it goes any lower than these recent lows, um, so it definitely doesn't look bullish. I wouldn't say it's bearish. It's kind of an even fight here, but if it gets below here, I think bears will retain control for sure. That would be my opinion. All right. So, I do want to say thank you. I could do probably many more, requests, but I will wrap it up. I'm getting a little bit hungry. So, folks, I want to say thank you very much. I want to appreciate you joining. If you want more, like just yesterday, was it yesterday? 2 days ago, I recorded a 3.5 hour long Twitter Spaces conversation. 11, 12, 2 days ago. Great guest speakers. Especially if you're a new trader, like go listen to these. Just hang out while you're going for a walk, you're taking a drive. Absorb it. It's just like people asking questions. Regular traders. Check that out. Watch the masterclass tutorials. Check out my book. It's on Amazon. Get it for free on my YouTube. Book 3 is coming soon. Trading Quotes. I hope you are excited about that. I'll be excited when it is done. Consider checking out Bitcoin Live, the best in class educational platform for crypto. I've been doing market reports for over 4 years, twice a week. I haven't missed an update in at least 3 years. So, and we do great work. I'm really proud of when you sign up, you can go back and watch old videos, and see how we handled things. I think there's great value in that, accountability as well. So check that out. And anyway, listen, just I hope everybody's like doing okay. I know not everyone is doing okay. So maybe that's kind of an empty statement. It's not empty, but it's not, perhaps not could have been said better. I think I hope everyone's doing as well as they can and managing, because that's all we can do is manage, right? It's all we can do is what we can do. So we must, right? We have to look at our limitations. We have to try to accept things, when they happen, especially if it's out of our control. We just got to face that feeling, accept it, and then move on. And just, you know, bad things happen, right? I know about that, and I've had a good life. I've been lucky, even though I've had my own battles. I mean, but um, focus on what you can control, and just do your best to hang in there and breathe, and hopefully have some fun. So I just wanted to reach out and do a quick update. I don't have the energy to go for an hour or anything like that, but I just wanted to reach out to you folks and speak with you. So appreciate that. Let's get this music going again, huh?